The entire tourism sector is skittish and even worried after that gun incident at a hotel in Runaway Bay, St. Anne, early Friday morning, June 23. Good day, this is the 77th episode of the Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast. Winnie Anderson Brown knocks over the sentiments and argument about women fathering children, and Desmond Richards keeps a focus on the Constitution and crime. Please subscribe to this podcast if you haven't yet done so. Before I take on breadfruit, yes, the breadfruit, I have to comment on Friday morning's gun incident in Runaway Bay. Frankly speaking, there is tremendous skittishness among hoteliers and interest in the tourism industry. And I mean from the investors overseas, some of whom have come in, through the management levels to the worker on the line. This follows that incident on the North Coast with armed robbery at FDR Resort, a relatively small, long-standing, family, all-inclusive property in Runaway Bay, St. Anne. Now, this was before daylight. Indeed, it was a rare gun incident at a Jamaican resort or involving tourists at all. Now, almost miraculously, nobody got hurt. That should not, however, disguise the fact that our existence is precarious. Crime is a Damocles sword for the industry and a huge shackle for us, the people. And that includes the parishes of the North Coast. No need to trot out the figures here. Given what we have learned so far about Friday morning's assault, anything could have happened, anything. Frankly speaking, it doesn't take an overactive mind to conceive of what consequences a bad outcome would have had for tens of thousands of people and the leading light of our economy, tourism. Now, Winnie Anderson Brown.
Last Sunday was Father's Day, and can I tell you, every Father's Day I get in trouble. How so? Every time I hear someone say, Happy Father's Day to all the fathers and the women and the mothers who father, I raise an objection because that is rubbish. A woman cannot father. She can provide financial support. And the role of the father is much more than that. The emotional and social support that a man provides, a woman can never do that. Just as how a woman cannot impregnate herself. I don't care about this artificial insemination or what have you. It's not with anything that a woman produces. So it's time to cut out this nonsense and speak the truth. Men must play their role as men. Women cannot do it. And I am hoping that next year, when Father's Day comes, I don't hear some men and women who are misguided talking about Happy Father's Day to the women who father. It's time to stop this nonsense. Men, I honor you. All those of you who are fathers out there. When Father's Day comes, it's not bashing time. It is time to celebrate. I hope you all the men, I hope you all had a wonderful Father's Day. Love and blessings, and keep doing what you know you should. Be great fathers.
That's Winnie Anderson Brown, educator and health facilitator. And now, Desmond Richards.
The Constitutional Reform Committee has stepped up its meetings with various parties discussing the Constitution. Now, this is an opportunity for all parties, and I'm talking about parties representing the people, to put forward their proposals in writing to the committee, because we must not believe that we can expect the current political directorate and the current political players to make the changes that we want to see in the Constitution. No, we have to remember, whatever we would like to see, put it in writing, submit it, and then prepare to go and defend, present it to the committee. Now, on another note, when are we going to be tired of the chilling wail of anguish by parents who have to bury their children murdered by criminals in this country? When? Now, between 2011 and now, over 500 children have been murdered in Jamaica. These killings are just fundamental part of the crime problem that that has been plaguing the country. Now, declaration of day of mourning and wearing black, nonsense. What we want all efforts right now to be pulled together to say to the government, to present our proposal to the government, to protest to the government, protest in the loudest terms what is being done to bring the crime situation in the country under control.
That's Desmond Richards, journalist and founder of internet radio, Rebel Radio Jamaica. I am no chef, but left to myself without anyone to prepare meals, I would not die of starvation or food monotonational alimentation. Not in Jamaica anyway. One of the treasures of this country is the food and the ability of the Jamaican people to have fun with it and full belly with it, with what is not necessarily cultivated either. I've come to this topic because it's breadfruit time. Lots of breadfruit. But even so, they're selling at between $100 and $500 each. I don't want to digress, but food cost is unbearably high in Jamaica right now. And it is to be noted that several grown provisions, as well as condiments and fruits and vegetables, have not come down in price since the early year rise. In the markets at this weekend just gone, onions are selling at between $300 and $400 a pound. Yam, $200 to $300 a pound. Same for sweet potato. Carrot is going $300 to $400 a pound. And on and on. People are catching hell. Breadfruit price is very variable and negotiable. You'd understand it's only a foolish vendor who would stick out for price, having had the breadfruit there already for 2 days, knowing that it will soon turn to mush. Roasted breadfruit, just rolled out of the fire or off the stovetop, must have been first prepared in the Garden of Eden. As a child, to watch the butter melt on a slice of chunk of still steaming breadfruit was as delicious and mouth-watering as the real thing itself. I love the roasted ones, sliced thin, then fried. This is nutritionally awful, I must say, the oil and the salt with which we put on. But I like that sin. I'm saddened that breadfruit chips that I have had never taste distinguished, which reminds me that some other country will possibly start doing it and doing it well and exporting it to us. It's a shame that we in Jamaica are importing banana chips from the Dominican Republic. Almost all the banana chips we get here is imported. When we who were producing such wonderful chips 40 years ago from rejected banana and now importing this stuff. And that's my beef with breadfruit and our processing industry. I did call the Bureau of Standards to get some details on what's happening with this and other Jamaican food, but I won't tell you about the reception I got. I've often lamented how we allowed Malaysia and Far Pacific to come up with coconut milk in the very useful powdered form and even in the liquid. That science or food processing is inversely related to the foolishness we used to do about coconut husking competition at Denby. Rather than providing the resources and encouraging science around our food, we were rewarding the use of machetes on coconut at Denby. Now, a close family member has just introduced me to how Barbadians are using breadfruit as a bowl, serving it in the roasted bowl and putting in their Sunday breakfast that could include salted fish or even lamb stew, a variety of things. They've even come up with breadfruit tacos. I'd be delighted to learn of new ways of doing breadfruit, and I encourage you to share your recipes on this channel. By the way, I remain disheartened about mangoes. The fruit is wagga wagga right now in quantity, the stone dog as they say. But that's for another time. Oh, about that phrase or word I use up the top, monototional alimentation. Come on, there's no such word. Get with it. Be willing to experiment with breadfruit. That's the Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast, episode 77. Please like, subscribe, and share. On behalf of Desmond Richards and Winnie Anderson Brown, I'm Franklin McKnight. Until then.